Hi, welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to talk to you about a tank to bowl kit. So we're going to replace the gasket between the toilet tank and the bowl. And we'd need to change this if for some reason there was a leak every time you flushed it, or it was dripping from the bolts that connect the bowl to the tank. So essentially you've got either 2 or 3 bolts that are holding the bolt of the tank. So this particular setup has this is a 3 bolt. So what you want to do is flush it, shut the valve off, flush it, and drain the tank. And then you get a socket and you loosen it. This particular one was actually very loose, so it was leaking between the tank and the bowl. I could have really just tightened it up and that would have been done. But I wanted to show how it's done to fully replace the whole gasket. So usually they're a little more difficult to get off than this particular one. So here I'm just using a 1/2-inch socket, which was the correct one for these particular bolts. Sometimes they're a little bigger, sometimes they're wing nuts. So we'll remove the 3 bolts. This is the last one here. And once we get that last one removed, then we'll pull off the tank. And what you want to try and do before you get the tank off is actually maybe put a towel or something on the floor so that you've got a place to put the tank, so you can work on the tank. So here I pulled it off, got a towel on the floor, and I don't like this particular setup where the bolts, the gasket and the bolt gaskets all in one. So they're actually very tricky to get off too. They're really very tight and difficult. And actually the Douglas valve nut holds the gasket in place too. I like this is more of a rubber gasket. The ones that I normally get are more of a sponge type, rubbery sponge, which has got a little bit more give, and I think that works better and makes a better seal. So here, as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit to get the bolts out of the old setup. Eventually get it all peeled off. You see that also, with that rubber gasket under the nut there, that's another thing that can fail. So as you can see, I've got to tighten the nut up. I'm still trying to get that damn gasket off. So alright, got all the bolts out now, and then I'll just snug up the Douglas valve, which is the flush valve itself, which is the actual part where the flapper sits. I do have another video on replacing that. So this is the kind of gaskets that I like, which is a single gasket like that. It's kind of spongy, and then also I like to do my bolts this way. So you put your rubber gasket on, push it through the hole, then you put another rubber gasket, a washer, and a nut. Now this kit comes with this setup, which I get from a plumbing supply house, and then it has another set of another nut and washer, which then holds it to the bowl. But I like to secure it this way first, tighten it up, which makes the seal. As you can see, I'm sealing it here, and you just want to snug it up enough where you kind of just squish that rubber. You'll see here in a second. I'll come back to it and show you. As you can see, the other side of the tank is not the same one that I'm working on here. I just added that in so you could see. So here we go. You kind of just want it squished enough where it makes a nice seal. You don't want to over tighten it because you can crack the tank. So carry on, do the rest of them the same way, and then you set it back on your toilet. The reason why I like to do it this way is because it holds the bolts nice and snug, and holds the bolts nice and snug, and you don't have them moving around while you're trying to tighten them up as well. Alright, so then what you do is you set it in, you put your nuts and your washers and then your nuts on. And then what I'll normally do is, the first one that I put on, I'll tilt the tank over to that side a little bit and just snug it up by hand. Then pop the other side on and kind of just push the tank over and tighten it up. What you want to do is you want to snug it up enough where the tank doesn't move anymore. You don't want to crank it until once again, it's porcelain, it can break if you over tighten it. So you just want to tighten it up enough where it's not moving, it's not rocking. So if you grab it and you shake it, it shouldn't move at all. And that's basically it. Once you've tightened up those 3 bolts, you want to just keep tightening them. Don't just do one at a time, alternate until you get it to stop moving, and you're done. So that's the finished product. And if you found this helpful, I would appreciate you subscribe and share. Thank you very much for watching.